Hello and welcome to Play High Field in Westwood, Massachusetts on Thursday, November 22nd for SportView's award-winning production of Holliston Panther Football 2018. It's found only on HCAT TV. Today the Panthers face the Westwood Wolverines on Thanksgiving Day for the 46th straight year. My name is Tom Emmons, and alongside is the color man who loves his Turkey Day football, the legend, Jay Wyman. Jay, history says you throw out the record books when Holliston faces Westwood on Thanksgiving. What do you expect to see in today's rematch?
Well, I'd throw out the record books, what I would do. But no, I think, first of all, I think one of the issues we have to deal with today is the cold and the wind. And what that's going to do, we'll see what that's going to do to both of these teams. It's probably going to be, you'll see a lot of running today. It'll probably be a pretty quick game, I would think. And both these teams are looking, seniors, it's different on Thanksgiving because the seniors want to come out and play their best game that they can because this is the one that they're going to remember going forward. These teams also have a lot of underclassmen, too, and they're looking forward to maybe build a little bit on next year. So I think you're going to see two teams come out here and really go at each other.
Holliston comes into this game with a record of 8-1. They're averaging 37 points a game, which is fourth best in Massachusetts. Allowing just 12 points a game on the defense. Their head coach, Todd Kiley, in his 16th season with the Panthers, 137 wins against 43 losses. The Westwood Wolverines, 4-6 on the season, averaging 11 points a game, giving up 15 on the defense. Their head coach, Brad Pendell, in his second season with the Wolverines, his record, 7 wins, 14 losses. Pendell 0-3 against the Panthers so far. Todd Kiley's record against Westwood now is 12-11, which makes him the only other Panther coach with a winning record against Westwood. The other one being Jim Riley back in the early 90s is 2-1 against Holliston. Kiley's team since 2009, 11-6 against Westwood, and Holliston has won 4 straight against Westwood.
Yeah, and of course this year, as they have in the last several years now, because of the way the playoffs are set up and everything, these teams are playing each other 2 times in the season, so it kind of skews it a little bit, and you also have the fact that, on Thanksgiving Day, there's a difference between what their records are on Thanksgiving Day and what their records overall are because, as you said, Tom, now they've some of the regular season games, Holliston's come in and won also. The other thing, and it's interesting, too, because Holliston and Westwood, we're the only, one of the only teams that had this issue. But this year, Ashland and Hopkinton have the same thing. They've played each other twice. Of course, Millis and Medway will have played each other twice also.
And Norton and Bellingham are playing.
Norton and Bellingham, that's correct.
There are 4 teams.
Yep.
Holliston's coming off a win last week at home against Falmouth, 27-6. Tristan Benson rushed 16 times for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Topher Ryan with 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. Westwood lost to Foxborough in their game last week. Westwood stalling on the offense and allowed 3 turnovers. Interesting thing we need to watch for today, Jay, is that Westwood installed their version of the war offense against Milton in the playoffs, and were pretty successful against them.
Well, and that's something you might see today, as I said earlier, Tom, because the wind is going to be a factor. The ball, when it gets this cold, it gets a little bit slippery and a little bit tougher to pass. It deflates a little bit, so it's actually a little bit easier to catch, but a little bit harder to throw. And the kicking game, it'll probably affect the kicking game a little bit also.
Captains going out for the coin toss for the Panthers. Number 11, Henry Naughton. Number 57, Will Crowley. And number 72, Scott Elliott.
57, Will Crowley. Number 72, Scott Elliott.
So we're talking today about a lot of the seniors. Of course, Henry Naughton, and boy, you just feel so bad, especially, you never want to see a kid get hurt, but especially in his senior year, he gets hurt early on and missed a lot of the games. And, he was the quarterback on the War offense, and
the quarterback. He was the quarterback on the defense, Jay, as their free safety.
Yeah, and of course then the two linemen who had just been sensational all year, Elliott and Will Crowley.
Westwood captains, number 15, Brian. Number 15, Brian Farrell, number 32. Dom Huff, number 53. Miles Hespelink, number 6. Braden Lotnan, and number 16, Eli Maroon.
Did you get number 50 out there too?
Yes.
50.
Brian Farrell.
Brian Farrell.
Referee probably going over some special rules because it's 3 degrees below zero right now.
Let's make this as long as we possibly can and get everybody to freeze. See, this stuff actually in a game like this should have been done inside. They should come out and just start. They know who's kicking off, who's receiving. They could have explained all this stuff. Come right out and do this. See, that's logistics.
Did they do that back in your day, Jay?
No, we didn't have referees.
We didn't have indoor plumbing back then. That was the issue.
Roll out the ball and go get them.
Holliston has won the coin toss.
So the Panthers are going to receive the ball first.
To receive.
And we'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. And now, H-Cat's on-board statistician Carlos Canto with Los's pregame lowdown.
Thanks, Tom, and a happy Thanksgiving to you. These two teams played last year on Turkey Day, as they do every year, and it was Holliston coming away with a dominant 34-0 victory. It was a Panther front seven getting it done that day as Holliston racked up 10 tackles for loss, including 2 sacks from David Harding and John Canal. They played a regular season game back in September of this season, and it was another strong showing from the defensive line, with the Panthers amassing 9 more tackles for loss and a whopping 5 sacks. Will Crowley led the way in that game with 2 sacks and another 2 tackles for loss. The Panthers have won the last 2 games in the Thanksgiving Day series and look to make it 3 in a row today. The temperature on the field at kickoff is 14 degrees with clear skies, but it is very breezy. It's cold today with the wind chill making it feel like -2 degrees. Just about the coldest game we've played in a while, so bundle up if you're out there.
Thank you, Los. Number 24, Mitch Gimblett. Number 2, Billy Nash back to receive the kick for Holliston. The ball just blew off the tee, which shows you how windy it is out there. The wind is blowing from left to right, sort of an angle across the field. Looks like it's a day where carrying the rock is going to be the most important, and it will be a rock.
Yeah.
Will be important to whoever's going to come out victorious today.
Well, actually, what happens is the ball deflates a little bit because of the cold weather, like a tire would in the cold weather.
Holliston. And it looked like number 10, Topher Ryan, on the short kick, takes it to the 45. 1st and 10 Panthers. Deflated football in the cold weather, Jay. Now you're starting to sound like Bill Belichick drinking the Patriots juice.
I don't do any of that. I don't do it. Down in Cowboy land where I root for the Cowboys, we don't cheat down there.
5-yard line, 1st and 10.
So Holliston comes out. Looks like they're going right to war right away. Let's see if they split out of this.
6, Matt
Arvanitis under center. And he pitches it to Benson off the left side. Tristan Benson down the left sideline. One guy to beat. Knocked out of bounds at the last second inside the 5-yard line. And Holliston deep into Westwood territory on the first play of the game.
Well, there's 2 things you need in a strong running game. The first is up front. You got to have the big guys up front who know what they're doing and block well, and also blocking on the outside by receivers. But you also got to have the running back with the speed, and that's Holliston's got a few of them, and one of them right there, the sophomore Tristan Benson.
Dylan Ibbotson, number 22 on the other side. Inside handoff to Benson through the misdirection. He picks up a couple as he battles his way inside the 5-yard line. Starting lineup for the Panthers up front, number 54, Ryan Burchard, number 72, Scott Elliott, Number 55, Zach Athey. Number 57, Will Crowley. Number 50, Sam Lynch up front. Also number 58, Rob Quinzani coming in to run the war offense. Topher Ryan, number 10. Connor Mulvaney, number 4 at the tight end spots. Your quarterback, number 6, Matt Arvanitis. So penalty, holding penalty against the Panthers backs them up, and they will have first and goal now from the 14-yard line.
Is now first and goal from the 13-yard line.
So Benson on the right wing, Ibbotson on the left, Zach Athey at the fullback spot. They pitch to Benson, left side sweep, steps out of a tackle, touchdown Panthers! Tristan Benson.
Ball carrier into the end zone, touchdown Holliston.
Well, Holliston came out and it started up the war offense. They're going to obviously run out of that offense. As you said, Tom, with the weather conditions today, I think both of these teams you're going to see running. In fact, you might see both teams running the same type of an offense as you had told us earlier, as Westwood did against Milton. And, that's what you're going to see in Holliston right now with that offensive line. They're big, they're strong, they are really good.
Holliston lines up to go for 2. They pitch to Benson, left side, leans forward. He's in for the 2-point score. And so with 9:29 to go in this first quarter, Panthers lead 8-0. Tristan Benson from 13 yards out scores his 15th touchdown of the season, leading the Panthers. That's also the 18th of his Panther career. So Holliston really showing some upfront power and strength.
Yeah, right off the bat, power, strength, and the speed of Benson, and of course, and of Dylan Ibbotson too. And you got 2 runners. One of the things, and we'll talk about this as the day goes on, as we get closer to the end of the game there. But Holliston, this senior class is a very deep senior class, but they also are very deep in the skill positions coming back next year. A lot of these players we'll be talking about in these skill positions are going to be back again next year for Holliston. So Benson, of course, being one of them, Arvanitis obviously being another one, and Topher Ryan and Dylan Ibbotson, you mentioned their names too. They're all coming back next year.
Tristan Benson coming into this game, 127 rushes for 930 yards, a 7.3 average. And again, just scoring his 15th touchdown. Kickoff by Nick Cotting. The squib kick. Westwood takes it across the 35 to the 36. First and 10, Wolverines.
So Los has been asking if that run, those 2 runs,
he needed 70 yards. They started at the 45, so
He was the only ball carrier, so he got all those yards.
So with 55, that brings him at 985, just 15 yards from the magic 1,000-yard rusher category. Up front for the Panthers on defense, Will Crowley and Scott Elliott, number 51, David Harding, number 77, Chris O'Connell. Get you the rest of the starters the next play. Westwood at the line, their quarterback, Jake Flaff, number 3. And they are lined up in war. Pitch to number 24, Shamar Hall. Number 2, John Hannon, the ball carrier. The other starters on the Panther defense at middle linebacker, number 4, Connor Mulvaney, and number 32, Kevin Lyons. Number 22, Dylan Ibbotson at the outside linebacker spot. Your safeties are number 24, Mitch Gimblett, number 12, Matt Tomaselli. And at the cornerback spot, number 26, Christian Schneelock, and number 17, Sean Keast. Second down and 6 for Westwood. They go to number 21, slips out of Ibbotson's grasp. Hannon on the carry.
Yeah, Dylan Ibbotson came across the line there, and he was able to almost make the tackle, but slow him down enough to keep him contained on the outside. One of the things, Tom, it's really tough for those who haven't played in a condition like this. Tackling is a really tough thing, especially early on in the game. Your hands are cold, and they'll warm up, and once they get going, once the kids get get going a little bit, moving around a little bit, it'll be a little better for him. But it's pretty tough, especially if you get a bigger back today. Trying to tackle a bigger back can be really, really hurtful.
So 3rd and 7 for Westwood after the loss. Flaff, pitch to 7. Tries the right side, but he is met by Connor Mulvaney and friends. And that's going to bring up 4th down for Westwood. Panther defense has just been outstanding this season, allowing just 188 yards a gain, 95 through the air, and just 93 yards on the ground.
Well, what they'll be able to do today is you can really bring your safeties up. You can have your corners play low. You can have your linebackers play up. Some of them maybe even in the line if you want, because you're going to be seeing a lot of running today.
Mitchell Gimblett back to receive the kick. Takes a Westwood bounce and out of bounds close to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for Holliston.
That's a nice kick. That's a really nice kick for someone kicking that ball into the wind, or maybe the wind's blowing sideways a little bit. That's what kind of took it out of bounds, but very nicely done by the kicker.
This first series for Holliston and Westwood, sort of a replay of the first time these two teams met this season, 34-6 Holliston. Holliston rushed for 261 yards. Westwood only was able to get 45 on the ground. Ball's marked at the 29-yard line.
The idea today, try and get outside. If you can get outside, so you can make those, force into those single man tackles. That's going to help the running backs today.
Benson on the right wing, Ibbotson on the left. Arbonitis under center. Pitches to Ibbotson. Works that right side, breaks it out. He's got a 1st down and more as he reaches to the 45-yard line.
Number 22, Dylan Ibbotson, the ball carrier.
Dylan Ibbotson coming into this game, 49 rushes, 364 yards, a 6.9 average, and 7 touchdowns on the season.
Benson and Quinzani out there leading the way. Nice blocking. And of course, as I said, you got to have those wide receivers or running backs. You got to have them blocking a little downfield for you.
1st and 10 for Holliston. Go to Ibbotson again, right side, making his way. Stops, cuts back. He's across midfield and into Westwood territory.
Ibbotson, the ball carrier.
Looks like a gain of 6.
And number 69, Omar El-Zaru.
Holliston offense been averaging 360 yards a game, 135 through the air, 215 on the ground. 2nd and 4. Pitch to Benson, left side, steps out, tripped up just at the line, gets forward for a couple.
See, the other thing you're going to see both these teams do, as I talked about earlier, defensively, what you'll probably see a lot of is the safeties coming up, the corners coming up in the linebackers. But what you can do off of this, if you have a short pass off of this, is you can throw somebody coming across the field and throw it short. There's going to be nobody back there to defend.
3rd down and 2. Arbonitis takes it himself on the quarterback sneak. And he's easily across the 45 to the 43 for another 1st down.
Arbonitis, quarterback keeper.
Arbonitis has rushed for over 330 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season himself.
5 minutes left in the first quarter. Holliston up 8-0. They have the ball. They're marching.
Pitch to Ibbotson. Caught around the up and pushed backwards. Looked like he was trying to cut backwards, but Wolverine got a hold of him and just would not let go. So loss on the play will bring up 2nd down and 12.
Well, that's what you want to do today. You're going to have multiple guys trying to tackle.
Well, interesting with Westwood bringing on the war. They've certainly seen it from Holliston a number of years, and now running it themselves. Teams get very familiar with that offense.
You get used to it, but the thing is, you don't get used to is how good the opponents are on the other side of the ball playing it.
Ibbotson, right side. Forward for a gain of 5. Gain of 6. Bring 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, and this isn't, unless there's a major penalty here, this will be 4-down territory for Holliston.
Down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Clock running here in the first quarter. Panthers ahead 8-0. Arvanitis with the inside handoff to Ibbotson. Bounces off the pile. And he's very close to a Panther 1st down.
That was a nice job by Ibbotson. He got met early on, and he was able to break the tackle and get almost to the 1st down marker.
Yeah, Los, how are his yards after contact? Don't keep that stat.
Need more head count for that.
Actually, they mark him a yard short, so 4th down and 1 for Holliston. So mano a mano time with the front 7 of Holliston against Westwood.
This is a time a lot of big runs get broken sometimes.
Arvanitis takes it himself, runs into the pile, and has to bounce it outside as Holliston did not get a good surge there. And so Holliston 4 and out will turn the ball over to Westwood on the 34-yard line.
Nice job by the Westwood defense. They are coming out, stringing it out a little bit, and when Arvanitis kind of broke to his right, looked like he might have an opening there, but what the Westwood defense closed in on him and held him, and they get the ball back.
So 2 minutes and 27 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Holliston leading 8-0, but their second drive stalled here. And it's Westwood ball. Westwood with Mahoney on the left wing and Fay on the right wing. Flaff goes to Fay.
Looked like a ball.
He's across the 35 to the 37.
Looked like a ball came out, but no, I guess it's going to be Westwood recovered.
Ref's talking it over.
It's Holliston ball. It did come out.
And the Panthers on the turnover.
Yeah, I thought I saw the ball come out, and I thought I saw Holliston fall on it, but then they said it was Westwood ball, and they talked about it a little bit, and Holliston gets the ball back.
Well, it is literally carrying a rock out there today with this weather.
It's tough, and the other thing is, like I said, it gets slippery. The ball gets really slippery in this weather, and so the other thing is your hands are cold, and there's a whole. You don't want to make up excuses for everything that's going on out there, but it's incredibly cold. In fact, the other thing I was going to mention is the fans that came out here today and sitting out in the wind and the cold. Congratulations, a good job, all these people showing up today.
Well, the sunshine's deceiving. It just makes it a beautiful day to watch football, but it is a bit brisk, even up here in the press box. And got a timeout on the field. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Holliston leading 8-0. All right, Panthers out of that timeout. 1st down and 10. Ball's at the 37-yard line. Got Billy Nash on the right wing, Ibbotson on the left. Arvanitis fakes the jet play and then takes it on the quarterback keeper, and he's got about a 7-yard gain to the 30-yard line.
Oh, that's nicely done. And that center and the guards there for Holliston, really a nice push. Now we got a flag.
Got a dead ball foul. Let's see which, and they are going to step it off against the Panthers.
The initial signal is against Holliston.
And it's a big one. It'll be, looks like personal foul maybe, 15 yards.
A 15-yard penalty.
So that will be, they'll be doing first down over, or second down over again.
This game goes quickly. You know what can tend to happen sometimes is penalties and fumbles and that type of thing could play a big number in this game, only because the score might be so low if these teams keep running the ball and the clock keeps winding down quickly.
So 2nd and 18 for the Panthers after the penalty, and they go to the spread offense. DeZindel at Nash to the right. Ryan to the left. Handoff to Nash on the jet play. He cuts it back, and he picks up a block. And gains about 5 yards to the 40-yard line. Billy Nash coming into this game, 621 all-purpose yards and 6 touchdowns for the senior.
Well, that senior, Billy Nash, number 2, he's really quick, really fast, a good runner. He follows his blocks pretty well, too. As you saw there, he was waiting for the blocking to develop on the left side. Holliston had somebody double-teamed over there, but the Westwood player was able to contain, and Billy was able to come around to the right side and pick up about 5 or 6 yards.
So 3rd down and 13 for Holliston. Ryan and Mulvaney to the right side of the formation. Mulvaney in motion. Arvanitis fakes the handoff. He's going to be nice little quick flip there to Mulvaney for a short gain. And now there's some discussion with the referees. See where they mark the ball.
Looks like they're bringing it back.
Incomplete.
Maybe Mulvaney was out of bounds when he caught the ball.
Or he went out of bounds and came back in maybe, or something like that. But there's no penalty.
So 4th and 13 for the Panthers at the Westwood 40-yard line.
4th down and 13.
And that Holliston will send out the punt unit. Number 10, Topher Ryan, the junior, does the punting for Holliston. He averages 39.1 punts, yards per punt. He's put 10 inside the 20-yard line this season.
Well, he's going to be punting almost a little bit. Well, because the flag is shifted around now. It looks like he may be punting with the wind now. That ball's awfully hard. Yeah, this is going to probably come back, depending on where it lands there, because what happened is that somebody in Holliston was moving forward just as the ball was snapped.
I thought that, it's so cold today, Jay. People get confused with the Canadian football rules,
Yeah,
where you can really get those players on a quick start towards the line of scrimmage. So I think Westwood might decline this and just take the yards off of the.
Yeah, they're going to decline it. Yeah.
Because it wasn't a very good kick, and that'll put the ball at the 25-yard line. So 26 seconds to go in the first quarter. Holliston leading 8-0. Westwood 1st and 10 at their 25. So Westwood to War. Pitch to Fay, 34. And there's a big pile at the line of scrimmage. He just gets back there.
Well, like I said earlier, Tom, I think running Ward today, it's going to be really tough running the middle. Now, you can go around the end, but the only thing about running the middle is if you get through that first line of defense where everybody is up that close, you can break a big run, but it's going to be really tough, really tough.
We got a timeout on the field with 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Holliston leading 8-0. All right, second down and 10 for Westwood.
And
we got a timeout.
Is that the quarter?
The first quarter is going to run out with Holliston leading 8-0. Well, at the end of the first quarter, I want to talk about Tri-Valley League Thanksgiving Day report.
Mm-hmm.
And the baby of the group, meeting for the 17th time, Bellingham 2-8, host Norton 3-7. Next up, the next youngest Tri-Valley League matchup is this one, 46, Holliston and Westwood. Westwood leading 28 wins to 16 losses and 1 tie. Next is Dover Sherburne against Medfield. This is the 53rd meeting. Medfield leading that 28-19. And then the next three games get very old. This is the 88th meeting of Millis at Medway. Medway leading that series. And then new members of the Tri-Valley League, Dedham is at Norwood for the 90th time. Norwood leads that series 49-39. And then 95th time, Ashland hosting Hopkinton. Hopkinton leads the series 51 wins, 38 losses, and 5 ties. Already this season, the Clockers beat Hopkinton late in the game 8-7. Sean Keast was the injured player who was helped off. Looked like an ankle, twisted ankle. We hope he's okay. Second down and 10 as we start the second quarter. Hannon in a roundabout motion to the right-hand side, but tackled right away on the edge by DeZindelet, number 5. Or is that Schneelock, number 26? Or that was 5. The 5 I saw was 51, Harding.
Dave Harding's had a really good year, Tom. He's, one of those defensive players. He just always seems to be around the ball, and he's able to nice job doing tackling, and he's really had a really nice year for Holliston.
So gain of 3 for Westwood brings up a third down and 7. They've only gained 7 yards so far in this contest. Triple receivers to Flapp's right. The junior quarterback takes the snap, back in the pocket, looks left, fires down the sideline, incomplete. Brian Gary in the coverage there, and I'll bring up a fourth down for Westwood.
That's a real hard thing to ask a quarterback to come out and throw the ball that deep in these kind of conditions. Well, but he did get the ball downfield, but with the wind blowing there, it's kind of tough to read. You got to read your receiver, got to read the wind. You got a lot to think about when you're throwing that ball.
So Daniele, number 12, to punt for Westwood. Gimblett drops back to his own 40-yard line. And a timeout on the field. Holliston with 9 minutes and 58 seconds to go in the first half. Holliston leading 8-0. Punter drops the ball. Daniele in trouble. Knocked out of his hand. And recovered by Westwood, but that's going to put the Panthers deep in Westwood territory to start the second quarter. Well, one of the plays you practice, but I'll tell you, it's tough in these conditions, snapping the ball back at your own end zone.
It really is, Tom, and I know we keep going back to the conditions and everything, but it really is really incredible out there. It's really windy, incredibly cold. I don't even know what the wind chill is out there, but they were talking somewhere around 0 wind chills and, 10 degrees or 12 degrees or whatever it was, air temperature. So it's really tough. And then the wind is blowing. There's so much going on down there.
Ibbotson on the left, Benson on the right. 1st and 10 for Panthers. Pitch to Benson, and he's hit and loses 1 yard. I remember the coldest game I played in was at BC for the 1976 Super Bowl. The Holliston was in against Hanover. I remember it was so cold on the sidelines. I wanted to pour the chicken soup into my shoes. That was before hand warmers. I don't think they had them back
Well,
then.
that's what happens. You know, it's really your extremities, your feet, your hands that really get affected first. Of course, and those are the things you really can't cover that well, especially if you're down there playing. You know, your shoes are your shoes, and you can put on a pair of gloves, but those don't help after a while.
Dezindelet comes in on the right side. Ibbotson on the left. Arvanitis to pass, looks downfield. He's got Ryan behind the defense. Touchdown, Panthers! Topher Ryan.
Well, Topher Ryan all year, he's been able to do that. We've talked a lot about this. He had, of course, that 3-touchdown game a while back, but he's great. You know, you always talk about wide receivers and the running backs, this and that, but you got that tight end. That's who the quarterback likes to look to, especially when you're just passing, in the shorter yardages or the crossing patterns or the regular passing situations. But Topher Ryan's a good one. He's back next year, as is Arvanitis, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year.
Holliston going for 2. Arvanitis back to pass, goes to the corner, and completes it. It's good for the 2-point conversion to Topher Ryan.
Well, there you go. 8 points for Topher Ryan there.
With 8:58 to go in the first half, Holliston on the board again, 16-0 Panthers. Matt Arvanitis to Topher Ryan, a 30-yard connection. That's Matt Arvanitis' 11th touchdown of the season, the 12th of his Panther career. Topher Ryan, that's his 5th touchdown catch of the season, the 6th of his Holliston career.
Yeah, we've seen Matt Arvanitis. He does a nice job in the pocket. He can roll left and throw. He can roll right and throw. And now we know he can throw in the cold and windy conditions too.
Well, Matt Arvanitis coming into this game, he had 1,224 yards, so now 1,254, which was good for 9th best all time in the Holliston Panther record book, which you've got to get the stat book down at Fisk General Store. Great Christmas present for the Panther on your list.
Well, the stat book is a stocking stuffer, and the second edition of the football book is the big gift you want to get. Want to get them both.
I've got them both. I've got one at work and one at home.
There's a surprise.
So 11:54. He's just 10 yards behind Matt Jay's 2012 total. Matt Jay, of course, is the all-time leading single-season passing leader for Holliston. His 2013 total, an amazing 2,432 yards that year for the senior quarterback. So Westwood will have the ball at their own 35-yard line. 8:50 to go in the first half. Holliston up 16-0.
Well, a couple passes. There's the last 2 plays by Holliston, and Westwood tried to pass earlier on, so maybe these teams are going to try and open it up a little bit. And it looks like Westwood's back out in the spread offense.
2 receivers to Flaff's right. Hannon in motion. Pass to him in the flat, and he is tackled immediately. A nice job by number 12, senior Matt Tomaselli. Leading tacklers coming into this game for Holliston. Kevin Lyons has 42. Mitch Gimblett with 41. Matt Tomaselli is third with 29 tackles. Ibbotson with 28. Schneelock with 28. And Harding with 26. So no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. Hannon in motion to the left. Handoff to Fay. He crosses the 40 to the 41-yard line, so it'll be Tomaselli on the tackle.
Matt Tomaselli's been really nice job. They put him in back there in the defensive backfield, and he's had some really good games. He's also, I believe, maybe even your backup quarterback now.
Well, he ran the war offense for most of the season.
And we've seen him in passing camp too. He's got, of course, the senior now this year, so
He's
good arm, and he can come in if need be.
He's got a touchdown pass on the season. So 3rd down and 4 for Westwood.
Let's see if Holliston gets aggressive here in blitzes.
Hannon in motion. Hand off to Fay. And he crosses the 45 to the 46 to pick up Westwood's first down of the game.
So a little bit of passing on both sides has really opened up the game a little bit here.
Westwood's offense averaging 202 yards a game, 113 through the air, only 89 on the ground. So they would prefer to pass. Flaff coming into this game with 1,088 yards and 7 touchdowns. But the passing game pretty much grounded with this strong wind, cold weather. Hannon in motion. Hand off to Fay. He runs into Will Crowley and tackled for a loss.
Well, that Holliston defensive front seven, they're really good. I mean, they're all interchangeable. You can play them multiple ways. The coach can play 3 down linemen, 4 down linemen. He's got the good linebacking core, and of course you mentioned a lot of those defensive backs who come up and make a lot of the tackles too.
Actually marked the ball back at the line of scrimmage, so 2nd down and 10, 5:40 to go in the first half. Holliston up 16-0. Hannon in motion. Flaff under pressure. 72, Scott Elliott with the tackle.
Scott Elliott and Sam Carell both getting in there, and Elliott finishing him off. Scott Elliott, he's just, we hear a lot about him offensively, and he really is a just incredible offensive talent in the offensive line. And, of course, he's going to Harvard next year. But he's a really, really good defensive ball. He eats up. If you sit in that defensive line, your job is to eat up a lot of those blockers and let your linebackers run free. And he does a really nice job of it. He's got to be at least doubled, if not triple teamed every time. You don't double or triple team him, he's going to beat you every time.
So 3rd down and 16 for Westwood. 3 receivers to Flaff's right. He looks left. Try to get it to Fay. And Crowley was in coverage out there. Incomplete, brings up 4th down.
Well, that play took a little bit of time to develop, and I think he might have wanted another second or two back there before he threw the ball, but he was getting pressured by David Harding.
Well, while you're on the Scott Elliott bandwagon right there, I think it's apropos to mention that Scott Elliott was named the Tri-Valley Co-MVP of the entire league. What an honor, a 3-time All-Star. And the punt, nice one, takes a Westwood bounce back to the Holliston 15.
Well, it's so tough when you're a lineman to be an MVP. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. I'm saying it's just tough because no one ever recognized you, because people look in this day and age of fantasy ball and everything else. People are always looking at statistics. But you don't get those statistics unless you have a great offensive line or a great defensive line. That's where it all starts. Football teams are made from the line back and from the middle out, and he is right there in the middle of everything. And he's just done a sensational job for 3 years. And Harvard's getting a good one, and they're also getting a really, really good kid.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers, back at their own 15. They've got the wind in their face. Benson on the right wing, Ibbotson on the left. They go to Ibbotson. Keeps his feet across the 18 to the 19-yard line, gain of 4.
Clock running, coming up on 4 minutes left in the first half. Holliston leading 16-0. They have the ball.
Scott Elliott, one of 10 Panthers named to the Tri-Valley League All-Star team, getting mentions, and we will give you that list in just a moment. 2nd down and 6. Arvanitis inside handoff to Ibbotson, and he's across the 30. Good leg drive all the way out to the 35.
Yeah, that's what happens, Tom. I talked a little bit about that. It's really tough to run up the middle, but if you can get up the middle, you can get some good yardage because those safeties are up so close that they get caught in with the blocking of the defensive line.
First down, 1st and 10. Holliston at their own 33.
Pitch to Ibbotson, right side. He's got some room. Off an Arvanitis block and bounces to the outside and into Westwood territory inside the 45 to the 41-yard line.
Well, once again, you got Ibbotson. His ability to run and to cut is just really amazing, but it's that offensive line. They're doing their job down there now.
Well, and also the quarterback. I love
the quarterback gets out front. Yeah, well,
Arvanitis with the pitch, and then I was looking who made the final block out there, and it was number 6.
Yeah, here's another flag. Let's see what this is against.
Flag after the play.
Well, they're facing like they're going to be marching it off against Holliston, but we haven't seen any call yet.
Well, I'll give you a list of these other Holliston All-Stars. Number 2, senior Billy Nash. Number 5, senior Anthony DeZindelet. Number 6, Matt Arvanitis. Number 10, Topher Ryan. Number 21, Tristan Benson. Number 22, Dylan Ibbotson. Number 24, Mitch Gimblett. Number 57, senior captain Will Crowley. And number 26, Christian Schneelock, who got an honorable mention.
Yeah, he better
we think
have.
An oversight there.
He better have gotten an honorable mention because Christian Schneelock has had a heck of a year. And, you know, Tom sent the thing out last night that he sent the list out there, and I said, where's Christian Schneelock? He should be on that list, along with a couple other kids, too, you know.
Yeah,
I think you could really, I don't know, I'm not sure who has honorable mentions, but I know one other person I can think of kind of a little bit is Kevin Lyons.
Kevin Lyons, David Harding,
David
Connor
Harding,
Mulvaney.
yeah, David Harding. I mean
how do you...
You can go on and on. This is a huge penalty.
I think there are 2 penalties tacked onto each other.
So after the big gain, it looks like a dead ball foul. So that should have been after the play. So it should bring it back. They should move the chains and make it first down from the...
Boy, oh boy,
that picked up the first down. Let's see where they put the ball. Well, the ball they put at the 22. Now the question is, where do they put the chains? And we're going to have a little discussion here at 3:07 to go in the first half. Holliston up 16-0. I also want to give a shout out to the seniors, Holliston seniors.
Yeah.
We talked about Jerry Callahan's great article that circulates every year at this time about the last time putting on the helmet. Well, we'll have to get back to that list of seniors in just a moment. So they've decided 1st down and 20 for Holliston. Pitch to Ibbotson, and he's hit in the backfield. Probably no gain on the play.
Tom, it's setting up nicely here for some kind of either misdirection or reverse play because everyone now is bunching up right in the middle of the field. So if you get somebody coming off the opposite side and take a pitch back on a reverse or something like that, that could go a long, long way. You watch how the defense is bundling up there inside with the offense.
So actually 2nd and 21.
No gain on the play, 2nd
2:23. Clock is running here in the first half. Holliston switching around their personnel. 10 seconds to go on the play. Arvanitis with the handoff to Benson. He heads to the left-hand side, gets the corner, and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Well, that's going to bring up a makeable third down and less than 5.
Well, when you got the line of the running backs that Holliston has, you don't have to throw the ball all the time when you get in second long, first and long, or second and long. You can make a lot of the yardage up on the running plays.
And give the ball to number 21 as that gain puts Tristan Benson over the 1,000-yard mark, making him the first 15th running back in Panther history to go over the century mark in a season.
And with the amount of time left on the clock, I wouldn't be surprised if this is 4-down territory.
So 3rd and 5 for Holliston. Hand it to Ibbotson, right side. Got room, got a first down. It spins forward to the 46. Holliston's going to take a timeout with 1:51. No timeout. Just stopping the clock to move the chains. Minute 51 to go in the first half. Holliston quickly to the line at their own 46. Arvanitis with Ibbotson to his right. Back to pass. Looking for Ryan, incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 1:39 to go in the half.
That looked like it kind of slipped out of Matt's hands a little bit. He wanted to throw it a little low, but it looked like he didn't have complete control of the ball when his hand came down.
Topher Ryan with that touchdown catch. That was his 20th touchdown catch of the season. He had 423 yards for a 22.3 average coming into this game. That's the tops on the Panthers. So 2nd down and 10 for Holliston. Benson in at the running back spot to Arvanitis' left. Handoff to Benson. He fights his way back to the line of scrimmage. Avoids a loss. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
He did a nice job. He avoided 2 tackles there that would have thrown him back for a loss. Able to get back a little bit and pick up some yardage to make it a makeable 3rd down.
A couple of Tri-Valley League All-Stars on the Westwood side. Number 53, Miles Hespelink, has been named Lineman of the Year. And number 7, Dylan Mahoney, the junior defensive back, was named to the All-Star team. So 3rd down and 10, minute 1 to go in the first half. Clock is running. Hollis is going to snap the ball with about 50 seconds to go in the half. Here comes Gary in motion, fake to him. Arvanitis in trouble. And he avoids the sack, but that's going to stop the clock with 38 seconds to go in the first half, and it's going to bring up 4th down and the punt team.
I think I would go for this. I don't think I would punt here, to be honest with you. I really do. I think I'd go for give it a shot. I mean, there's not a lot of time left, so Westwood, of course, I think they still have 4 of their 5 timeouts, but I think I would run this ball here.
Ryan is at the punt. Back deep for Westwood is Mahoney.
So Mahoney drops back deep for Westwood. Ryan tries to get away from the rush. And the ball's on the ground, but it's sort of academic at that point. And we've got a flag on the play. That's going to be another
This is going to be interesting.
big one.
If this flag is on Holliston, it's going to set Westwood up really nicely.
Okay, Jay, I'm with you. Holliston should go for it.
Well, no,
Don't punt the ball.
No, when you think about it, though, if first of all the play is going to, there was 30 seconds inside of 30 seconds left, or inside of 35 seconds left.
So break for the Panthers there, as Westwood would have had the ball on the 35. It comes back to the 50.
But if you think about it, the play's going to take 7 or 8 seconds anyway, so there would have been under 30 seconds, and you might have gotten the first down. You've been, Benson and Ibbotson have been picking up some nice yardage there. So your defense has been playing very well. So it's not like you were down at the 20-yard line or anything. You'd have a shot at doing it. But the final thing is, it's so hard you can see both punters now have had a little trouble with the ball, catching the ball and holding on to it.
That's right. Well, I mentioned junior quarterback Jay Pfaff with 1,088 yards. He's got a couple of targets he can go to. He sends Hannon out wide to the right, 3 receivers to his right. Number 1, Mark James, split to the left. Pfaff looks right. Chase from the pocket. Nice diving catch and it's called incomplete. Maroon tried to take that one off the carpet and steal it.
Well, I saw Elliott and I think Crowley, the 2 captains, pushing like 4 offensive linemen back. Scott Elliott is so strong.
Yeah, well, when you're pass defending, those linemen are going backwards, and Elliott and Crowley's so quick to get up in their chest and start helping them backwards.
And he also
collapse that pocket.
They have a pretty good line. I mean, Hespelink and these kids, they're pretty good here for Westwood. But boy, oh boy, that defensive line was just pushing that offensive line right back.
So trips to the right, James split to the left. 2nd down and 10.
The blitz by Harding.
Pfaff, the pocket collapses on him, and so does number 72, Scott Elliott. A little help there by Will Crowley.
And that all started, though, with Dave Harding coming off that left end, coming around and making the quarterback pull the ball down, and allowed Crowley and Elliott to get in and finish him off.
And that will bring us to the end of the first half. The Holliston Panthers leading 16-0 over Westwood here on Thanksgiving Day at halftime. And it's now time for Luce and his halftime lowdown.
Thanks, Tom. The score at halftime here at Flay High Field. Holliston 16, Westwood nothing. Holliston really dominating the stat sheet in this first half. They have 194 yards of offense. Westwood only has 4 total yards. That's 30 yards passing for the Panthers, 164 yards rushing. Most of that rushing coming from the duo of Dylan Ibbotson and Tristan Benson. Dylan Ibbotson with 81 yards. Tristan Benson has 78 yards and a touchdown. And as Tom noted, he's gone over 1,000 yards rushing for the season. And then Topher Ryan hauled in a 30-yard touchdown catch as well as a 2-point conversion. For the Westwood Wolverines, quarterback Jake Pfaff is 1 for 3. No touchdowns, no interceptions. And the leading rusher is Colin Fay. He's got 11 yards on 5 carries. Defensively for the Panthers, Will Crowley is leading all tacklers. He's got 3. Matt Tomaselli and Scott Elliott checking in with 2 tackles apiece. Scott Elliott has 2 sacks on the day, and Will Crowley's got a sack as well. For more stats and information on the Holliston Panthers, you can follow us on Twitter at HCatFootball, and that's the lowdown.
I want to get to that list of 12 Panther seniors playing their last high school game. Number 2, Billy Nash. Number 3, Andrew Del Ponte. Number 5, Anthony DeZindalet. Number 8, McKay Crichton. Number 11, Henry Naughton. Number 12, Matt Tomaselli. Number 25, Logan Brooks. Number 50, Sam Lynch. Number 57, senior captain Will Crowley. Number 59, Sam Carell. Number 72, senior captain Scott Elliott. Number 76, Daniel Campbell. Those 12 guys had quite a season for Holliston, and it's sort of sad to see it come to an end.
Yeah, those 12 guys had actually quite a career. You know, their one-loss record from the freshman year on up has been really pretty amazing, and it is. We talk about this with all the sports. How every year I say it's a kind of a bittersweet type of a thing for these kids. We get to lose them, and they, but they get to move on, and go to school or Army or service or whatever they're going to do. They get to move on, and the next group steps up, and next year that group stepping up is really going to be pretty good. And Coach Perry and Coach Murphy, they get those offensive and defensive lines cranked up a little bit like they have this year. They could have another special season next year.
Number 43, freshman Nick Cotting, tees the ball up. See if he can get it to stick on that tee long enough to get the ball off.
43, Nick Cotting to kick off for Holliston.
And here we go with the second half. Cotting's kick taken at the 22 by Maroon. He slips a tackle and is pushed out of bounds across the 35-yard line.
They had a special year, and of course it was led by the two captains, Will Crowley and Scott Elliott, who you talk about a lot, but you can't help talking about them a lot because they're always out there making plays.
And Coach Kiley talked about the extraordinary leadership from his two senior captain linemen, which is a little unusual from what we've seen in the past from Holliston.
And, we'll get this play in for a second here.
So 1st and 10 for Westwood at the 35-yard line, starting the second half. Pfaff with the handoff to Fay, and he's hit right away and pushed backwards. Tackle by Elliott.
Scott Elliott, and rightfully so. He gets a lot of the acclaim, and he's a fantastic player, great kid. He's done a great job. But I want to talk a little bit about Will Crowley, because Will Crowley, to me, he's kind of like the Rock out there. He's kind of the rock solid. He's so good at what he does, and he's so fundamentally sound, and he'll make the big plays. And both on the offensive line and the defensive front seven there, he does a really good job. And those two kids, those are kids who the other kids will follow just about anywhere.
So 2nd down and 10 for Westwood. Again, and number 51, Dave Harding, for the sack. That's his 3rd sack of the season.
Well, Dave Harding's having
big loss.
He had, I believe, 2 sacks last year in the Thanksgiving Day game as a sophomore, and here he is, the junior. This year is really putting some pressure on him. And not just the sacks today, Tom, but he's got a few tackles, and he's also got a few pressures on the quarterback. One of them made the quarterback throw the ball away.
I want to talk about Will Crowley, his versatility, Jay. 3-year starter, starting as defensive end as a sophomore, was the starting center as well, moved to guard. This year he's playing defensive tackle and playing offensive tackle.
Yep.
So timeout on the field with 9:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. Holliston up 16-0. 3rd down and 15 for Westwood. Pfaff with his hands deep in his pocket trying to keep warm here. He's got a receiver split to his left and to his right, and chased out of the pocket and up for the hit right at the last second. 51, David Harding. He released the ball incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down for Westwood.
Well, Connor Mulvaney really was the one who started that. He came off his left defensive end spot out there, and he just put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, made him roll to his right. And, of course, there's Dave Harding again. Keep saying that name. Connor Mulvaney, he's another one coming back next year along with Harding. And
high snap pulled down by Daniele, and his kick goes off the side of his foot, takes a Westwood bounce, and it's going to come to a stop at the Westwood 49-yard line. So 9:02 to go in the 3rd quarter. Holliston will have the short field here on their first offensive drive. Some of the success of the other Panther sports, Holliston obviously Tri-Valley League champs in football, but also boys and girls soccer were Tri-Valley League champs. The girls with a couple of tournament wins, and the boys with 3 tournament wins and went all the way. They were the Division III South champions until they lost to Westwood 2-1.
Westwood or Wayland?
Wayland, sorry.
Wayland, yep.
So Holliston to war with Benson on the right, Ibbotson on the left. Pitch to Ibbotson. Puts a hand on Crowley's back. Breaks a tackle. Up the sideline and out of bounds inside the 25.
Well, I'll give that one to Sam Lynch in the offensive line. Sam did a really nice job holding his block and allowing Dylan to make a cut and get outside and get some room. That offensive line is really, really special, I'll tell you.
The Holliston field hockey team finished third in the TVL, and they had a couple of tournament wins. So 1st and 10 for Holliston. Pitch to Benson. Cuts his way up right over the center, breaks away, one man to beat. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers, Tristan Benson.
Well, he did a nice job there. What Tristan did is that there he was able to cut up inside. He got some good blocking on the inside. Was able to cut up and then cut to the right, make it a quick jab step to the right, and taking it all the way in. Good speed, good run there by Tristan Benson. This Holliston line's up for 2.
That wind is really, really whipping. So Arvanitis under center. Arvanitis keeps it himself. Reached forward for the end zone, lost the ball, but the attempt is no good. So with 8:24 to go in the third quarter, Holliston takes a 22-0 lead. Tristan Benson with his second touchdown of the game, the 16th of the season, the 19th of his Panther career, and Holliston with a 3-score lead.
Well, once again, the domination of that offensive line has just really been special today, and those running backs are running wild behind them.
So I'm mentioning field hockey, boys soccer, girls soccer. Volleyball made the playoffs for the first time in a long time and had a win against Worcester South. Also the golf team and boys and girls cross country with winning records on the year. So a great fall sports season for Holliston Panther fans. Cotting's kick comes down at the 27. And a short return to the 35-yard line. Tackled by Mitch Gimblett.
Mitch is another one of those. You talk about somebody who does it all. He's on all the special teams. He's a great punt returner. He's just absolutely fearless returning punts. And, you know, you saw him running the ball against Falmouth, and he had some really big runs, too.
Yeah, and the number 2 tackler on the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's one of the reasons he was named to the TVL All-Star team. So 1st and 10 for Westwood at their own 35. 8:17 to go in the third quarter. Panthers up 22-0. Pfaff with the handoff to Fay.
There's a fumble. It looked like, did the ball come out there? Oh, I thought the ball had come out.
Forward for a couple of yards. 2nd down. Well, the Greek checked in. He saw this game as a Holliston win and was worried about the elements.
Yeah, he should have been.
20-6 Holliston.
Speaking of the Greek, his son Cam had a great college career in soccer up there at Colby up in Waterville, Maine. Yep, the conference champs.
So 2nd down and 7 for Westwood. Handoff to Fay again, tackled by Harding. That's going to bring up 3rd down. 3rd and 4.
Fay's a nice runner. Fay's only a sophomore. He'll be coming back for a couple more years for Westwood. Seven minutes left to go in the third. 22-0 Holliston. Westwood with the ball. They're moving.
Two receivers to Pfaff's left. He's got two backs in to block for him. Split to the right. Hands off. And Fay is tackled right away by number 24. Mitch Gimblett and
With Dylan
Kevin Ryan. Kevin Lyons.
Yeah.
So that'll bring up a 4th down and 4.
No gain on the play. 4th down and 4 to Westwood 41.
But it looks like number 12, Daniele's coming out to punt.
And Holliston right here will probably put a lot of pressure on him.
Mitch Gimblett comes up and looking for a possible fake. But Daniele with the kick. And bounces out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
You see how that ball, when he got it up in the air, he got it up at the height, it would look pretty good, but then the wind caught the wind, and it just took it to the other side of the field.
5:54 to go in the third quarter. Holliston up by 3 scores.
Well, let's see how Holliston plays as they come out and stay in the war offense, which they probably will, and just start running. You definitely want to get another score, but you want to run some time off the clock if you can here. And I'm sure for several reasons. One is because it's smart football, and two because it's freezing down there.
Pitches to Ibbotson. Keeps his feet. And has crossed the midfield into Westwood territory for another Panther first down.
You talk about a lot of the best things you can do as an athlete and best type of thing you can have as an athlete. And one of them is good balance. And both these running back, Ibbotson and Tristan Benson, both have great balance and the ability to cut very, very quickly without losing any speed. Like they can make a cut and then just accelerate off that cut so quickly that it gives them a great advantage over the defenders.
1st and 10 at the Westwood 47. Inside handoff to Benson. Gets hit by Maroon at the 40, but is forward to the 38-yard line. Almost another first down. I'm pretty sure that Ibbotson's over 100 yards on the game now. And probably Benson. And Benson hits the century mark here for Westwood.
And Ibbotson has 123, so it's 123 for Ibbotson, 100 for Benson.
2nd down and 1, 4:34 to go in the third quarter. Arvanitis with the pitch to Benson, slashes the left side, and forward for the first down easily and all the way to the 25-yard line.
There's a flag on the field.
It's got to be an exclamation penalty. Referees keeping these teams on a tight leash. I got a personal foul, actually, not unsportsmanlike conduct. So that'll be a 15-yarder against Westwood.
When the clock starts out, there'll be 4:19 left to go in the third quarter.
So the 1-2 punch of Ibbotson and Benson, with Holliston really hammering the war offense. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 13.
And, of course, the War offense is so dependent, even more dependent than most offenses, on that offensive line and the good blocking and the quick holes developing, and the running backs able to see those holes and get to them really quickly.
Rob Quinzani comes in at the guard spot. Number 55, Zach Athey, moves back to the fullback spot. Inside handoff to Ibbotson, breaks the line. And he gets a first down. And so it'll be first and goal, Holliston from the 1. Three minutes and 25 seconds, clock running. Let's see what the play is.
Teddy Ratcliffe comes in.
Coach Kiley's going to have to change up call a timeout right here.
Yeah, I think what they did there was Dylan kind of, came out to the 1, put the ball down to the 1, kind of. I think what they want to do is give Scott Elliott a shot at scoring a touchdown here, which is really cool.
So Holliston lines up, double tight end. Elliott as the running back at the 9-yard line. Arbonitis in the pistol, takes the snap. Hand off to 72, and he bowls his way in for a touchdown. And a great celebration by the Panthers as number 72, Scott Elliott, from a yard out.
Well, where have you been all my life, Scott Elliott? You should have been in the offensive backfield for years here. Nice job there by Holliston. It's really pretty special. I talked a little bit about what a special kid he is, and he really is such a good kid. If you ever get to talk to him and meet him, you'll see right away he's very likable and just a really nice kid. Obviously, he's very smart. He's going to be going to Harvard.
Andrew Del Ponte lines up for the extra point attempt. The kick is up and good. So with 2:53 to go in the third quarter, the Panthers on the board again, 29-0. Scott Elliott from a yard out scores the first touchdown of his Panther career. He becomes the 13th Panther to hit pay dirt this year.
Yeah.
And I think you officially have the Matt Mealy Award winner.
Oh, that's right. We now have a Matt Mealy Award winner.
The running lineman award winner on the last game. It is official.
Thank you, Dylan Ibbotson.
Also, reaching into the record book, number 3, senior Andrew Del Ponte, with his 16th career point after attempt. That conversion was good, moves him to 18th all-time on the all-time kicking list.
Maybe it's warming up down there. We got people passing. We got people kicking extra points now.
But Del Ponte, I'm pretty sure. Yep, he's just behind Dom Porcello of the year 2000 with 17 career kicks. So Westwood will start at their own 30-yard line. Well, good to see seniors do well here on Thanksgiving.
See if we can get some of the other seniors who are in the game. I see 77, Chris O'Connell down there.
Yeah, he's a starter. McKay Crichton, number 8, comes in at linebacker. Oh, high snap over Pfaff's head, and he's going to have to cover it up back at the 15. 76. Daniel Campbell out there at defensive tackle. '56 Ryan Cahill at defensive tackle.
Jake Flaff, the quarterback, he's also coming back next year for Westwood. He's only a junior.
As well as Fay and Hall.
Yeah.
And Mahoney.
These guys will be going at it a couple times again next year.
So 2nd down and 23 for Westwood. Pfaff to pass, got a little time. Lets it go, incomplete. It was intended for number 6.
3rd down, 23.
I don't know if you mentioned Dan Campbell's in the game now for Holliston. Defensive line. Number 76.
So 3rd and 23 for Westwood. 3 receivers to Pfaff's left. And he takes it on the sweep himself. Dives forward to the 20-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down and long. Tackled by Crichton, number 8.
Okay, Crichton, another one of the seniors this year. As you said, Tom, it's really a stacked class of seniors, and put them with those strong juniors and sophomores, and really had a sensational year this year.
Nobody back for Holliston to receive the punt. Daniele's kick hits into the wind and just stalls. Takes a Holliston bounce and finally covered up at the Westwood 42-yard line. So 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Holliston in charge, 29-0.
I think you'll probably see a few new faces here in the offense. Let me get some of these seniors back out here.
Total yards 290 for Holliston, -4.
Holliston with 290 offensive yards. -4 for Westwood, as Holliston's really dominated the line of scrimmage. I think Westwood only has 1 first down.
Correct, 1 first down, 12 for Holliston.
First down. That's taken by number 26, Christian Schneelock. Schneelock keeping his feet, and the big scrum pile is pushing him forward. And a first down for Holliston. Just a great surge.
Well, that's football right there. That's football. Out here throwing the ball around the field. Get down there and pound away at each other. That's what you want to see out there.
Schneelock with the rush and the first down. So he drives it all the way to the Westwood 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Teddy Ratcliffe, number 13, on the right wing. Schneelock on the left. Couple of legacies along with number 55, Zach Athey, in the backfield. And that'll bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Holliston up 29-0. And it's time for This Week in Holliston Football History. What you got for us, Jay?
Okay, the first Thanksgiving Day game Holliston played was a win against Medway in 1897. They then lost the next year, and lost in 1899 to Medway. And since that time, the Holliston Thanksgiving records are, against Medway, they're 1-1. Milford, they're 0-1, and that was in 1900. Framingham, they beat Framingham in 1901. They beat Ashland in 1902. They beat Natick in 1903. Then, of course, they had the lull those years without any football. The next opponent was Medfield. They were 6-1-1 against Medfield. Then they moved on to Uxbridge, where they were 4-0-1 against Uxbridge. Went to Boston Trade, 2-0 against them. Played Bellingham 1 year in 1972. They were 1-0 against them. And since 1973, they are 16-28-1 against Westwood. That's by the way, those are the Thanksgiving Day record. That's not the overall record against these teams. So, back in 1897, this all started, and of course, I think the first real Thanksgiving Day football game, I think, was like in 1873 or something like that. I think it was Princeton and Yale played each other on Thanksgiving Day. So that was a long time ago. I remember I was just in elementary school back then.
But even then, you learned something special was starting.
Yes,
this
I knew.
Thanksgiving tradition, which is a New England football tradition.
It really is. It really is special. And you can have the state championships, you can have this and that and everything, but this is still one of the special times for these kids.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the Westwood 25. Handoff to Ratcliffe, number 13. He's across the 20 to the 19.
Teddy's brother Sam was he's still playing now.
He's at Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yeah.
Hamilton College as a linebacker. One of 8 Panther alumni playing in college this year. Get to that list soon. Number 78, Gabe Medeiros. In at tackle. Brian Gary, number 14, at quarterback.
Yeah, there's a little movement there in the line.
Well, one of the things that makes Thanksgiving Day football is family, Jay. And, there are 8 legacies on this Holliston Panther team. Billy Nash's brother, Mike. Connor Mulvaney's brother, Mark Mulvaney, who's actually playing at Tufts University. Teddy Ratcliffe's brother, Sam, that's playing. Brian Gary's brother, Tim Gary, played for the Panthers. We'll get to the rest of that list. 2nd down.
Oh.
Pitch to Seth Bello. He's tackled right away for a loss. Other legacies, number 17, Sean Keast. His brother Justin played for the Panthers. Number 26, Christian Schneelock, we've talked about. He has brothers AJ and Zach that played. And, of course, Zach Athey has his brothers Matt, Nick, and Sam all playing for the Panthers.
And his dad coaching.
So a 3rd down and 14 for Holliston. Bello on the left. Ratcliffe on the right. And he is spun down for a loss. That's going to bring up 4th down. Number 77, Chris O'Connell's brother, Matt O'Connell, played for the Panthers, too. We got a timeout on the field with 8:49 to go in the game. Holliston leading 29-0. Arvanitis with Benson to his left.
Oh, they do play.
And Arvanitis with the kick. And it rolls out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. So a coffin corner for Matt Arvanitis on his first punt of his career.
I was actually looking at Will Crowley there, waiting for the fumble-rooski to.
Other Panthers that are playing in college, got to give special kudos to Captain Nick Athey, a senior at Bentley University for the Falcons, 167 career tackles, 6 interceptions, and he was named to the New England Conference 10 first-team All-Star team for the 2nd year in a row. Tremendous career by Nick Athey. And also senior captain Joe Belomo at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, the senior fullback with 1,329 career yards and 8 touchdowns, surpassing his brother Matt Palomos yardage and touchdowns at Holy Cross.
Yeah. We know who gets a turkey leg this year.
Short run by Westwood. Tackled by Crichton. But Joe Bellomo with a great career there. And he's going into the Marine Corps.
Yeah, he will be going in. And you talk about Scott Elliott, what a special kid he was. Boy, so was Joe Bellomo. Nice kid, nice family. You know, and Tony, his dad, Tony, did so much for this program, running that the Pop Warner program for years and coaching and running the program. He's just great asset for this Holliston football legacy.
Pfaff takes it himself on the quarterback sneak.
Another scrum. There you go.
Westwood shows they've got some push left.
Well, Westwood's got some pretty big boys down there on the line. They can push some people around. And
also kicker for the Bentley Falcons, Grant Buchanan, a junior. He's got 154 career points. Just missed 1 point after attempt this year for the Falcons. Jack Barrett, sophomore tight end at Trinity College. Sam Athey just completed his sophomore year at Stonehill as a starter. Defensive back, 57 tackles this season with an interception against Assumption. And then also Kevin Quinn, a freshman at Fitchburg State University, 15 catches for 79 yards. So 3rd down and 1. Pitch to Fay. He picks up the first down as he crosses the 30 to the 33. Tackled by Tomaselli, number 12. So we're down to 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the game. That was the second first down for Westwood.
Well, once again, I want to say that what a great job. These fans showing up, and both Westwood and Holliston fans showing up today, and those who braved this weather, really, really special because they just sat there and literally froze all day.
So 1st and 10 for Westwood. Pfaff with the pitch to Fay. Tomaselli and Crichton with the tackle. Tim Aylward, number 9, comes in at linebacker.
It's good to see a lot of these kids get in and playing Thanksgiving Day games. You know, the seniors get to play their last game, and the other kids, they get a little taste of what it's like to play varsity football, and you want to come out and make sure you're lifting all those weights for the
Pfaff takes it himself up the middle.
Just shy. Oh, it looks like he got the first down. He did. All these other kids coming out, you know, they're going to be lifting weights and running and getting into shape for next year, and that'll start, you know, probably in a week or so for some of these kids. They're going to get out there and do that. 4.5 minutes left to go in this game. This clock is running. You know, our MVPs today, we have a legacy down on the field, too. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, Jake.
We do. Steve Hedrick is a legacy. He's the husband of the lovely Lisa, and he's down there on the field today with Christian Boudet. And boy, oh boy, those guys are really I give them all the credit. I didn't think they'd stay out the whole time, but they're out there filming this whole game.
Giving you the great close-up sideline shots.
So thank you, Steve and Christian. And, of course, the lovely Lisa up here in the camera.
1st and 10, pitch to Fay.
Ooh.
And he's chased from the backside by 24, Mitch Gimblett. That's really the way to beat the war offensive we've seen. If you've got somebody fast off the backside,
catch him from behind.
Because it takes a little while for the play to develop. But then if that person doesn't stay home, they can really get burned by a counter. So 2nd down and 11. Number 59, Sam Carell in there at defensive end.
Oh,
Pitch to 21. He bobbles it, but Gimblett comes around and makes the tackle again for a loss. So Mitch Gimblett, number 24.
yeah. Well, Gabe Harris, the running back there, did a really nice job of catching that ball. You know, sometimes what happens is the ball comes to you and you kind of take your eyes off it, but he stayed focused on the ball, was able to bring it back in. Otherwise, it would have been a fumble. Kept it going for Holliston there, but he did lose a yard there. Bring up a third and about 12, something like that.
3rd and 12, 2:31, clock running here in the fourth quarter. Holliston up 29-0. Pfaff takes it himself on the draw and tackled by Tomaselli, but he is going to be close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be about a yard short, so I'll bring up 4th down and 1.
Nice tackle there by Tomaselli and Andrew Del Ponte, getting in on that tackle. A couple seniors. Well, Tom, about somewhere around, I don't know, 230 more days, something like that, we'll be doing the Varsity Bowl again. Won't be long now.
Well, let's enjoy this Thanksgiving treat. And on 4th down and 1, Westwood, they're probably going to give them that first down to the 45. And Westwood does move the chains.
Well, Tom, that's a really good year. I mean, Holliston, you know, 9-1. You lose to the team that will probably be the eventual state champion.
Take a timeout with 1:04 to go in the game. 29-0 Holliston. All right, 1st and 10 for Westwood. Twin receivers to both sides of the formation. Pfaff hands it off, and he is tackled for a loss.
I would finish that thought here, Tom. You know, Holliston being 9-1 this year and losing to probably the eventual state champ in Scituate, who was really an incredible team. Scituate's a really, really good team, and it took a team like that to beat this Holliston team. Instead, you know, we always focus a lot on the offense, but this defense was just played just out of their minds this year. They had
they did. They dominated the Tri-Valley League, 10 TVL All-Stars. A tremendous year for Holliston.
So you get that, and you also got to give the coaching staff a lot of credit. Coach Kiley and all his coaches did a superb job.
Snap over Pfaff's head. He chases it back. And finally tackled down by 77, Chris O'Connell. And that's going to do it. There will not be another play. Holliston with a 29-0 win here on Thanksgiving Day 2018. And now Los with the final lowdown.
Thanks, Tom. The final score from Flahi Field. Holliston 29, Westwood 0. Complete domination by the Panthers in this game. Panthers defense held Westwood to only 35 total yards in the whole game. They racked up 305 total yards on offense. 30 yards passing. The rest was all rushing, 275 yards on the ground. They held, like I said, Westwood to only 35 rushing yards on the day. Individual contributors for Holliston. Matt Arvanitis, quarterback, was 1 of 4 for 30 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. But it was the duo of Dylan Ibbotson and Tristan Benson who really got it done today. They combined for over 250 yards rushing. Dylan Ibbotson leading the way with 134 yards on 12 carries, including a long carry of 27 yards. And then Tristan Benson surpassing the 1,000-yard rushing mark this season. He had 120 yards today on 11 carries, including 2 rushing touchdowns. Scott Elliott also with a big rushing touchdown, his first of his career and his only rushing touchdown of his career. And then also leading receiver was Topher Ryan. He had 30 yards on a receiving touchdown. He also had a 2-point conversion that he caught as well. For Westwood, quarterback Jake Pfaff, 1 of 5 for no yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Leading rusher for Westwood was Colin Fay. He had 26 yards on 12 carries. And then defensively for the Panthers, a lot of guys getting it done on defense today. Mitch Gimlett and Matt Tomaselli were the leading tacklers in the game. They had 4 apiece. David Harding, Scott Elliott, and Will Crowley all had sacks in this game as well. Mitch Gimlett and David Harding also had 3 big tackles for loss as well. That'll do it for the season. For once again, the final score 29-0. For more stats and information on the Holliston Panthers, you can follow us on Twitter at HCatFootball. And that's the lowdown.
Okay, thank you very much, Lois. We want to thank, of course, once again, the yeoman job down there by Christian Boudet and Steve Hedrick on the cameras and the brutal weather down there. The lovely Lisa up here, the cameras. Carlos, another great job. Tom, another nice season. You did a nice job. You brought him to a 9-1 record, as you normally do a great job with that. We want to thank all the people who listened to us. We want to say goodbye to the seniors this year. Great year, and thank the coaching staff, Matt Baker, and everybody for allowing us to be a little bit part of their families. Final score today from Westwood, Holliston 29, Westwood nothing. Have a happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday, and we'll see you in September.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.